Hi again to the Codelab. This time what we're going to do is to deal with the mute and unmute buttons, or see what exactly they are doing. Tipo, let's look at the code.
Yes, let's look at the code. So I already jumped to the place in the HTML file where that code is located. So let's first take a look at the audio button.
So we're inside the index.html file and in it in the JavaScript part of the code. Okay.
So we have this mute audio button over here, and we can click it. It will turn red.
Okay.
And we can click it again, and it will turn white again.
Okay.
So the first thing we need is a reference to the button element, and we just do a document get element by ID audio button. And then we add a click event listener. Whenever the user clicks with the mouse on the button, we run this code here. So the first thing we do is we get the audio track from the local stream. That is the local stream we acquired via get user media earlier, and that we stored in a local variable. So we need the reference to the stream. And now we decide whether when the audio track is enabled, the next state it is going to be in is a muted state. So we add CSS for that, and we can take a look at it in a bit. And if it's currently not enabled, we're going to remove the muted state from the class list, which is going to remove the red color.
Okay, so that's just playing with the button.
Yes, and then we call audio track. We set audio track enabled to not audio track enabled, so we negate. We switch the conditions there.
So if it was muted, we unmute. If it was unmuted, we mute it.
Yes, and we all do that in a single line of code.
Okay. And then can you go on to this class list, the muted thing? How does that affect the button in CSS?
Yes. So the muted class simply adds a color, sets the text color, the foreground color to red.
Okay.
Which is pretty easy.
Okay. And that was for the audio.
Yes.
For the video, I guess we're doing almost the same thing.
Yes. Audio is simple because when you mute the audio, Opus will reduce the bitrate quite a bit. If you do Opus DTX, it will reduce the bitrate even further. So that works very well.
But it will still send audio data.
Yes, but less so.
Okay.
And it will basically send silence.
Okay.
But it will send packets. And the video button is the same game. We get a reference to the video button element. We add a click listener. We do the same thing we did before, adding or removing the muted class from the CSS, and we change the state of the enabled.
And this, in this case, will stop sending video over the network.
It's a bit more complicated. So if you look at your camera when doing this, you notice that in Firefox, it will turn off the camera light on some devices, whereas in Chrome, it will stay enabled. And that is a change the Firefox people want to push to the specification currently, because if the camera is not capturing your real picture, it should turn off the light. And Firefox makes that very easy. In Chrome, you can achieve this goal, but it is quite complicated because you need to stop the track and replace it and acquire it again in the future, which is adding quite some complexity.
Okay, can you mute the video on that sample that we have?
Yes.
I don't see the dots and color changes. Okay. Now, one thing here. When we mute, as far as I see, there's nothing that goes on the signaling. So it's me muting my local stuff and muting whatever it's going to be sent to the other user.
Yes.
Now, the only feedback that we have on the other end is that it just doesn't hear me or doesn't see me, right?
Yes, so we could do a signaling message telling the other side that we've just muted audio.
Okay, and we probably are going to do an exercise on that.
Exactly.
Okay. So I guess this is how you mute and unmute in WebRTC and in our Codelab, and we'll see you in the next lesson.
Yes.